F1 Challenge is an F1 racing game developed by Sega and released in 1995 for their awesome Saturn game console. In Japan, it was known as F1 Live Information because it featured commentators constantly talking about what was happening during the race. But for this North American release, the chatter is gone, replaced by some up-tempo Sega-style rock that really gets the pixels pounding and puts you in that classic Sega arcade racing vibe. F1 Challenge is a pretty basic game. You got 5 cars to choose from with real drivers from their real teams circa 1995, and 6 tracks to choose from, 3 real-life courses, and then the fictional Neo City track, which comes in novice, advanced, and expert configurations. There's 2 racing modes, time attack and arcade, so no championship mode. And the arcade mode works differently than one might expect. Instead of having to run a race, passing time checkpoints and finishing either under a specific time or above a certain race position to continue to the next track, instead you can just pick the track you want and run a single 8-lap race, try to finish first, and that's it. There's no larger goal beyond that. This game is basically an arcade-style racer with a little bit of simulation thrown in. Before a race, you can choose your tires from either a long-lasting set or a shorter-lasting one with better grip, although the more durable tires have plenty of traction. Whichever type you choose, you will have to make a pit stop during the race as they wear out pretty quickly, and you'll start to notice that the car will tend to slide through corners more and more. You can also choose the amount of fuel you start with, which affects your car's weight, and there's no 8-lap race that requires a full tank, so feel free to run with less. And lastly, you can adjust your front and rear wings, which actually do affect the car's downforce, and you'll notice it in the braking and cornering. No matter how you set the car up though, the control is very forgiving and very fun. It supports Sega's Arcade Racer steering wheel, but if you don't have one of those, the analog control with the 3D control pad is excellent. You don't get analog gas and brake, but the analog steering is smooth and precise. The cars are really responsive and just very fun to drive. The sounds are generally really good. The engines sound nice, the music is upbeat and appropriate, and the sounds when you crash into something are pretty good too, if a little dry. The graphics are pretty standard early Sega Saturn, colorful with a lot of pop-up, especially on the Monte Carlo track where whole buildings will pop in right in front of you. The cars look good though, with detailed team colors and designs. There's 2 view modes, a third person behind the car view and a cockpit view, and both work really well. One important thing to note though is the rear view window the game provides. When it's on, the game moves fast, but the frame rate is a little choppy. Turn the rear view window off and it becomes totally smooth, and you'll never miss that rear view anyway. F1 Challenge isn't the deepest or longest lasting game. It won't take long to see everything the game has to offer, but I find the driving to be so enjoyable. It's a good game to come back to time and again just to get a few quick races in. I think it's worth picking up for a couple bucks if you can find it. Really, you need to go back in time to like around 1998, 99, just before the Dreamcast came out here in North America, because stores had Saturn stuff cheap. Check out like Walmart, EB Games, any store that might have games really. Especially Sears. See, not many people would think to check Sears, and there were great deals to be had there. So yeah, go back in time, visit the United States, which should be easy for a time traveler, hit some stores and pick up a cheap copy of F1 Challenge. You won't regret it. And then go back even farther to like the time of the dinosaurs, because that would be cool. But don't spend too much time with them, because you got a copy of F1 Challenge that needs to be played, right? Right.